The cabin lights faded to a soft glow as Flight 719 readied itself for departure. Rain streaked relentlessly across the windows, blurring the world outside until it felt distant and unreal, as if everything beyond the glass had been washed away. Inside the aircraft, passengers had settled into the familiar pre-flight comm headphones on. Phones tucked away, minds drifting in quiet anticipation. In row 12 by the window, a young woman slept deeply, her head resting against the fuselage, her breathing slow and even, the kind of sleep that spoke of exhaustion deeper than a long workday. Her name was Clara Mitchell, and she had no idea that her life was moments away from colliding with a crisis she could never have imagined. The engine settled into a steady hum. A mechanical heartbeat beneath the low murmur of the cabin. Attendants moved through the aisle with practiced smiles and calm voices, maintaining the reassuring illusion that everything was under control. No one sensed what was coming, not the passengers. It's not the crew, not even the captain. It's a man seasoned by years of training and emergency drills. Then the intercom crackled, cutting sharply through the quiet. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have an unusual situation. If there are any licensed pilots on board, please make yourself known immediately. Repeat, any pilots on board, please respond." A ripple of unease spread instantly. Phones lifted. Whispers filled the air. Disbelief flickered across faces as tension settled like a gathering storm. The smiles of the crew remained, but they were strained now. Tight and guarded, Clara stirred, blinking one eye open, disoriented. As the words reached her fully, the color drained from her face. Her emergency credentials were at home. She wasn't a commercial pilot, not officially, but she had years of experience. Private aircraft, small planes, simulators, relentless. Training, enough perhaps to help. The flight attendants moved faster now, urgency unmistakable. "Please, anyone who can fly a plane, come forward." The announcement echoed again. Panic simmered beneath the surface. Hands clenched armrests. Lips moved in silent prayers. Breaths were counted without knowing why. Clara remained frozen, her thoughts racing between fear and the precise procedures ingrained in her through years of training. She was terrified, but she understood that hesitation could cost lives. The captain's voice returned, calm but firm. Time is critical. If any pilots are on board, please assist immediately. Lives are at stake. Memories surged, long nights in simulators, dense technical manuals, instructors pushing her limits under crushing pressure. She wasn't perfect. She wasn't ready. But she had no choice. She stood. The aisle felt impossibly narrow, the weight of the entire aircraft pressing down on her shoulders. A flight attendant rushed to her side, relief and doubt battling in her eyes. You can," she asked. Clara nodded, swallowing hard, her hands trembling. "Yes," she said quietly. "I can help." The cockpit door opened and she was ushered inside. The captain, his face marked by decades of responsibility, studied her closely. "Are you sure?" he asked, urgency threading his calm voice. "This is not a drill." "I'm sure," Clara replied, surprised by the steadiness she found within herself. She took her seat, hands hovering over the controls as warning lights flickered around them. The co-pilot looked pale, struggling to stay composed. The storm outside battered the aircraft, turbulence shaking it violently, but inside the cockpit, focus took hold. The captain guided her step by step, every instruction exact. Every movement critical. Clara pushed thoughts of family and home aside. Nothing mattered now, except the aircraft and the lives it carried. Time stretched and twisted, minutes feeling like hours. Each adjustment carried enormous weight. Her hands moved with growing confidence, guided by instinct and training, once limited to simulations, now terrifyingly real. "Good, that's it," the captain said steadily. "You're doing fine. Keep it steady." In the cabin, passengers endured the storm without knowing the full chaos unfolding ahead. Some prayed, some cried quietly, some held hands with strangers. Behind the cockpit door, Clara and the captain worked through complexity with everything they had. Gradually, the storm began to ease. The aircraft aligned with its intended course, and Clara's fear transformed into fierce determination. Thinning rain, runway lights appeared, distant, shimmering. Hopeful, prepare for landing, the captain instructed. Clara followed every step precisely, adjusting flaps, monitoring speed, coordinating with control, balancing terror with focus. The descent was tense, buffeted by wind, each second testing resolve. Then came a jolt, a soft screech of tires on asphalt. And the plane was down. Relief flooded the cockpit. Applause erupted throughout the cabin. Passengers didn't know the details, but they knew they had survived something extraordinary. Clara leaned back, breathless, heart racing, tears welling from exhaustion and adrenaline. The captain turned to her, quiet admiration in his eyes. "You did it," he said. "Everyone's alive because of you." She smiled, disbelief and pride washing over her. She had acted despite fear, proving to herself that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. As passengers disembarked, hugs were exchanged, tears shed, gratitude whispered. Clara walked the aisle, hearing fragments of thanks, seeing awe reflected in unfamiliar faces. She had been more than a passenger, she had been a lifeline. Outside, the rain had stopped. Dawn painted the sky in soft light as she stepped into the cool morning air. Cameras flashed, reporters gathered, but she stayed humble, letting others tell the story. She remembered row 12's the seat where she had slept, unaware of what was coming. She remembered the captain's face, the tension of the cockpit, the lesson that even in chaos, precision and courage could prevail. As she walked away, a quiet pride settled within her. She had risen to a moment that would define her forever, knowing now that life reveals hidden strength in the most unexpected ways, and sometimes ordinary people are called to do extraordinary things.